Today I'm going to show you how to make a 3D pig on top of a cupcake. For that you will need the cupcake with a small amount of jam on top. Remember, no bits in the jam, therefore the fondant when it goes over the top will look smooth. We're going to use a white fondant to go on top and just mould it in your fingers until it becomes a consistency that is good to work with. Too sticky, no good. Too dry, it'll crack. On top of your icing sugar, with a lightly dusted rolling pin, make sure you roll out your fondant so that it becomes about 3 millimeters thick. Doesn't have to be perfect, like so. Take a cutter that's just bigger than the size of your cupcake, and then gently place the fondant on top of the cupcake, making sure you press down in the middle because that's where your pig is going to sit. And if there isn't a small indentation, then the pig could fall off if you're not careful. With a paintbrush, just go over the bit where the pig is going to sit so that he sticks. And then if there are any parts of the cupcake that have icing sugar on them, just dust those off. Now we can put that to one side whilst we get the mixture for our pig. Again, rolling it around so that it becomes pliable. And then what you need to do is break it so that you have roughly a 60-40 ratio for your pig. The 60% is the body, the 40% will be the head. So roll it around so that you have a circle, and then just place it down. Now you're going to need a ball tool for this, and use the large side of the ball tool and press it down. If you don't have one of these, just push in your finger. Lightly wet it so that the head will have something to stick to. And then place the head gently on top. Now, you will need to make various indentations with the small end of the ball tool to make sure that parts of the pig stick to him, like the ears and so on. So to do that, we'll start with the eyes, then he's going to have a snout, 2 ears either side, and 2 arms, they're going to appear there. And once again, some water on each hole that you've made, so that the fondant you use next will stick. Using some more fondant, roll it around until it is pliable, and then take a small amount that's about yay big and roll it around because that's going to be the snout. Press it on top of the part that you wet just there, and we're going to take this tool here. Has a small point on it. You can use a cocktail stick if you don't have one of these tools, and you can press in so that you can see the snout just there. And then we're going to do the ears. Now take about so much for each ear and roll it into a small ball in the palm of your hand. End of the ball tool goes in, and then you're going to pinch it so that the ear is slightly pointy, and press it down onto the pig. Using the ball tool again, press down like so, and roll into a ball, and then with the ball tool, press down, pinch it at the top. And if your ears are slightly wonky, don't worry, because that makes them look more like a pig. And you see a pig with perfect ears. And you can mould them around. And we'll just use one more piece of pink fondant here for the arms. The arms aren't too big actually, so you only need a tiny amount. Roll it into a slight cylinder, and then just push the arm in so it's a little stump for your pig. And we can do the same on the other side. like so. We'll put the eyes in. You only need a tiny amount of fondant for the eyes. Roll into a tiny ball. The reason you don't want too much water is because the eye might bleed into the rest of the pig's body, and that doesn't look very attractive. And there he is again. We're going to give the pig a belly button on the front, and we'll also give him a part on the back that we're going to damp with water. And then we said we would do his tail. So with the pigtail, push it in, and you should find that you have a little curly tail there. I'm just going to turn him around so that I can check he's okay. Yes, he is. And then put him in the middle of your cupcake, press down lightly, and if there are any bits of icing or whatever, you can get them off with your paintbrush. Excess water can come off too. And just to go with him, we're going to do a little love heart. So with some red icing, roll out, not too thin actually, you want it to be fairly chunky love heart. Heart cutter, press it down, pop it out, perfect heart there. Paint the right hand side of the pig, your left, and pop the love heart in place. And then just to take the excess icing away, paint him, and you have your little pig.